The glass quivered in my hand, but not from anxiety, from absolute composure. That type of control that burns hotter than fury. My father was halfway through his celebratory speech. The light fixture above us sparkled, scattering fragments of yellow across faces I had known my entire existence. Faces that once grinned when I stepped into the chamber. Now they observed me with the same look they reserved for servants. "We have decided," my father declared, his voice majestic and smug to eliminate. "You from the inheritance." He paused to enjoy the moment. "You have never earned it." Laughter ensued. My mother's manicured hands clapped. My cousin Simon smirked. My uncle raised his goblet. It was a family show, a highly practiced cruelty disguised as custom. I smiled, took a slow drink, and quietly withdrew. 2 days later, every communication device in the family illuminated. With the identical message, mine remained silent. "But we will arrive there." At that time, I was the one they labeled the difficult child. Not because I failed, I never did, but because I questioned. I was too observant, too unwilling to submit to the family's quiet corruption. My father constructed his domain on fear and manipulation. Small businesses were crushed under the weight of his influence. Assets were acquired through deceit, masked as enterprise. My mother remained silent, compliant in her expensive jewels. And me, I stayed unseen long enough to comprehend everything. When I was 22, he informed me, "Loyalty is money. You'll never be able to afford it." He was correct. I could not afford to be loyal not to them. It began when I observed inconsistencies in the trust legal documents. I was not meant to view them, but my cousin Simon was careless. He left the folder open on his desk. Red markers signed revisions, my name removed in neat legal ink. That is when I realized they had been organizing this for months, perhaps years. But instead of confronting them, I grinned at family meals, laughed at their jokes, even played along. When my father mocked my failed independence, I learned to keep quiet. Because silence is not surrender, it is strategy. The shift happened after that evening. The banquet, the announcement, the laughter. That was my authorization. While they toasted to my disgrace, I commenced extracting the threads. I started with the company records, not his main venture, but the subsidiary. Firms he utilized to move funds. Off the official books. I still possessed access from when I assisted with tax preparation years prior. He forgot that. I did not. From there, I followed paths offshore. Accounts, shell businesses, fabricated billing statements. He believed he was beyond reproach. He was not. Then came the board. Elderly gentlemen devoted to his wealth. I started murmuring quiet truths about audits, absent funds, fabricated agreements. You do not need to yell in that world. A whisper causes greater harm. My father always instructed me that power is perception, so I turned perception into his downfall. The second action was emotional. My mother, she was not blameless, but she was foreseeable. She feared disgrace more than wrongdoing. I dispatched her a single anonymous email, a series of leaked papers showing my father's secret transfers to his mistress. A female younger than me. I attached photos, invoices, property registrations, all authentic. I knew she would panic. She always did when her reputation was jeopardized. By morning, she had called her solicitor, her sister, and crucially, the media. Within 24 hours, the murmurs escalated into headlines. Prominent executive under investigation for financial impropriety. Family trust under audit. I did not have to intervene further after that. The system completed the rest. The board called an urgent assembly. His accounts were frozen. His collaborators withdrew. His allies grew silent. And in the midst of all this, my father attempted to reach me. First through my mother, then through his solicitor, then finally through a text message. "You've made a blunder you cannot reverse." He was mistaken. I had made a strategy I could not be connected to. On the second day, the family group conversation erupted. Simon was accused of disclosing records. My uncle accused my father of larceny. My aunt demanded her portion be secured. The trust dissolved in utter pandemonium. No one trusted anyone anymore. The inheritance gone, suspended, pending inquiry. And me, I did not require it. I had already taken what mattered, their tranquility. On the third evening, I received another telephone call, this time from my father. His voice was not like thunder anymore. It was like rough gravel. "What did you execute?" I permitted the quiet to extend. He despised silence. It made him feel insignificant. "You educated me well," I stated finally. "Loyalty is money. I just utilized mine." Then I disconnected the line. A week later, the residence, the one where the dinner occurred, was listed for purchase. My mother relocated with her sister. My father remained out of public view, avoiding reporters and lawsuits. And the family, they shattered like glass under intense heat. They turned on one another each. Attempting to survive the turmoil, they once used to manage me. That is the thing about betrayal. It is infectious. Once it begins, it propagates rapidly. People ask me if I regret it. I do not, because that dinner was not just degradation. It was a declaration of conflict. They believed they deprived me of everything. They did not realize I had been constructing something else. Not riches, but patience. And patience is far more lethal than power. Last week I returned to that eating establishment. Same table, same secluded seat. Ordered the identical beverage. The attendant recognized me. "Family dinner again?" he inquired. I smiled. "No," I said. "Just finality." Now, when I reflect on that night, the laughter, the clapping my father's smug victory, I feel no anger anymore, just quiet contentment. Because revenge, when performed correctly, does not shout, it whispers. And in that quietude, I discovered peace.